Hi, this is Wendy from HMO Success, and today's video is all about the 3 things that you can do to grow your customer database, whether you're investing in property, you're running a business, or you're looking to develop your HMO portfolio. I'd like you to think about the very last time that you bought something from a big brand. Now, it might have been a high street brand, it might have been a fast food takeaway brand, maybe it's something that you bought on the internet. But if it was a well-known brand, that brand will have 3 things attached to it. It will have a promise, it has a product, and it has a process. And these 3 things are what all good companies know are so vital to encouraging the growth of their customer database. Now, you might say to me, but Wendy, I don't really have a brand. I'm too small to have a brand. I'm just starting out. Why on earth would I have a brand? But you see, every business has a brand. It doesn't really matter how big or small you are. If you look across the world at lots of different companies, you'll see however big or small they are, they represent something. They represent a value of some kind. They have a reason for being in existence, and that is part of their brand. So think of maybe a high street takeaway with the golden arches. You might know who I'm talking about. Now, that particular chain of fast food stores has a very strong brand because it's very consistent. You know what you're going to get in each of their outlets, and you know exactly what the food is going to taste like when you buy it. Consistency is key to having a brand. Now, there are 3 things that every brand has to have. Number 1 is a promise. Number 2 is a product, and number 3 is a process. And once you get each of these steps right, you'll find it much easier to attract investors, you'll find it much easier to find deals, and you'll find it much easier to have customers and grow your business. The first step is having a clear promise. So what is the promise that you offer to your marketplace? How are you solving their problem? How are you making their lives better by being in existence? Clarifying that in your own mind will help you to clarify what your promise is when you're working with customers. Number 2, what is your product? In other words, how do you help people through what you do? Is it a service that you offer? It might not be a physical product, so maybe it's a service. A bit like McDonald's that I spoke about earlier. They have a very clear product. You know what their product line is, but equally you know what their product line is not. For example, they don't sell spaghetti bolognese. They don't sell tacos. McDonald's are really clear about what their product is because they've said no as much as they've said yes to what they want on their menu. If you can decide exactly what your product is, you can make sure that it aligns with your promise, and then there's much more clarity there for your customers and actually also for you. And then the third thing is your process. For McDonald's, it's quite easy. You simply walk in or drive through their restaurant and you can buy their products. You know what the promise is because the product is very consistent, so you know exactly what you're getting when you go in and buy a hamburger and fries, for example. What about your process? How do you take the details of your customers, your investors, and deal with them? How do you reply to them? What's the process that an investor or a client has to go through to work with you? Are there a certain series of pieces of paper they've got to fill in? Do you ask them to fill out a form? How do they make sure that their net worth, you're checking what their net worth is, whether they're high net worth or sophisticated investors, for example. All of these factors, all of these pieces of the puzzle need to be ironed out, because that way you can clearly communicate to your customers what the process is in being able to work with you, and that also makes you much more professional, which is the 4th P. So your brand is important and it's represented by those 3 Ps, and if you can focus on those 3 Ps, making them a reality in your business, I know you're going to see growth in whichever field you choose to work in. To your time and to your money and to your success. Please subscribe and like the video if you've had value from it, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks for watching.